Hi, isn't it annoying when you've taken an iris photo and it's just too dark? You've got it on your computer screen, you may not have the person or you may not have the time to be able to take another photo. Well, in this video I'm going to show you how you can still get quite a lot of useful information out of an iris photo where the settings weren't quite right. Or even if you're using like a normal photo camera that isn't a proper iriscope, how you can get more details out of those photos. So I'm using the Apple Mac software called Photos, which is included in most new Macs. But if you update your operating system, you should have that software as well. And if you're on Windows, I would recommend the software. It's a free software you can get is Faststone Viewer, which has got all the same tools that I'm going to be using in here. Okay, so before we begin, when we edit photos, you don't want to over-edit a photo because you will modify the information that's visible in the eye. But there's a lot you can still do, and the more practice you have with looking at irises and playing with the settings, you can change the settings knowing very well that you've changed them and still get useful information. And I'll show you in this photo what I mean with that. So 4 key areas: brightness, contrast, saturation or color, it's the same thing, and sharpness. Now the main one, and usually that's the biggest benefit, is by changing the brightness. So let's have a look at this photo here that was taken with the settings for a bright blue eye, but this is actually a dark iris. And so when you open up your Photos application for the first time, you may not see exactly what I'm seeing here. Actually, I'll show you what you normally see. When you open up the photo, you'll have this, and then you click on Edit. This gives you extra tools here. Now, one of the first things I normally do is crop the photo, like get the right kind of frame around the information you want to see. So we're not interested in the skin. So we're just going to crop it and then maybe rotate it slightly because the angle of the eye doesn't look perfect. So there we go. We still want to keep all the information on the sclera, and here we're just going to slightly change that. I think that's probably more precise. There we go. Okay, then here on the right hand side we've got a button called Adjust. Click on that. Now by default it gives you 3 tools that you can use, but we want more of them, and that's by clicking here on Add. And what we're going to put is we're going to add sharpness, definition. You could add noise reduction. We're not going to use it in this photo. White balance and levels. Now I'm going to do other videos with other irises, and some of these tools will be more useful in other irises. In this iris, we're going to go to the very basics, which is especially the light or the brightness. Oh yeah, and just so that before I don't forget, here we've got a little arrow going down that gives you more features or more details on the particular light tool. So exposure, so that's going to brighten the image, but it's going to brighten all the pixels of your image evenly. So we'll start off with that. Hang on, there we go. So that's going to increase the overall light level. But what we want to do more specifically, now that the rest of the iris, like the sclera and all that, the light level is okay there, probably increase it even more actually. We want to increase the light level of the darker areas. So here we've got shadow, and that's what you want to select. So there we go. Hang on. Bit of not the best design of this software here with the cursor. There we go. So here we get quite a lot of information coming back up in here. Brilliant. We can increase slightly the contrast. Not 100% sure it's the best thing to do in this particular photos, but in blue irises it gives you a little bit more detail. It makes the detail appear more clearly. Now when we brighten a photo, we sometimes lose some of the detail on the color. So I usually it will increase the saturation, which is the color, slightly. I'm just going to show you what it looks like if I overdo it. See there? The colors just go off the well, it's completely unnatural. You can see in the iris quite a few orange patches, And orange and brown often get mixed at low light levels. And if you brighten a dark iris, you may lose some of the orange colors, which is useful information. So I'm just going to increase it a little bit, but not too much. That's probably about right. There we go. Now, then the next one, which is related to brightness, is levels. It's a different way of affecting the light levels. I was going to show you that before, but yeah, just play with it. Like I could actually talk a full hour on all these details more in all of these features in more detail, but just play with them and get used to using them, and then you'll see what I mean. There we go. Hang on. I lost a bit of brightness here. There we go. Okay, so that's pretty good. Now we've got here, so the white balance is something that you could use. That's coming back to colors. The white balance is if you've taken photos with the wrong white balance setting on your camera. Okay, and then the last one is sharpness. Now that's another, a long discussion could be had about that, but depending on the amount of pixels, you'll want to not just increase the intensity of the sharpness, you want to, what they call here in this software, edges, but it's related to the pixel density. You don't need to understand the details of that. It's just by playing with this, you may get a bit of detail, but in this particular photo, we're not going to get a lot of benefit out of it. You'll see that in other blue iris photos. Like I'll do another video like this on a blue iris, so you can see what I mean. Okay, so that's probably more than enough editing. One thing to pay attention to is also the quality of your computer screen, or the settings of your computer screen. Because if you look at this video on your computer, you may not actually see a lot of details, but on my computer, I'm seeing quite a lot of detail in the iris here. It's still on the dark end, but if your computer screen is dark, you won't see those details. So make sure you've got the right settings on your computer screen. Okay, so yeah, if you've got any questions, send me an email or leave a comment below on here. And if you like these videos, click a like and I'll do more of them. Thank you very much.